like this in recent history.
A woman is accused of using a dating app to lure men for dates, drugging them, and then robbing them blind. And the feds said that some of those victims actually died. I have the case of Aurora Phelps and why the FBI believes there are more victims. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Aurora Phelps is in jail in Mexico, and she's facing serious federal charges, including kidnapping resulting in death. Yes, you heard me right. The U.S. attorney in Nevada says Phelps kidnapped a man and he died. The FBI says Phelps met her victims using dating apps like Tinder and Plenty of Fish, and she targeted older men, and sometimes she even used different names. On one of her Tinder profiles, she went by Sissy and wrote, "I am looking for friends, no fake people." The acting U.S. attorney outlined the case.
As alleged in the superseding indictment from July 1st, 2021 to December 9th, 2022, Ms. Phelps met older men on dating websites or services, then met them in person. It was part of her scheme to drug the older men to gain unauthorized access to and steal money from their financial accounts to personally benefit herself and members of her family.
And in some instances, the feds say that Aurora Phelps tried to take a whole lot of money. More on that in a bit. But it turns out the feds say it wasn't just men that Phelps targeted.
As outlined in the federal indictment, we believe Aurora Phelps deliberately and methodically targeted older men to drug them and steal from them. The charges being unsealed today relate to crimes Phelps is alleged to have committed against 4 male victims. However, the FBI has become aware of multiple additional potential victims, male and female, both in the United States and Mexico, that we believe Phelps preyed upon over a period of more than 3 years.
The FBI laid out a timeline. It claims Phelps's first victim was a woman in Bentonville, Arkansas in June of 2019. The second victim was in Las Vegas in February of 2021. Victim number 3 was from North Las Vegas in April of 2021. Victim number 4 was identified as GC and was from Henderson, Nevada in November of 2021. Victim number 5 the following month was in Mexico. Victims 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 were all targeted in Mexico from April to August of 2022. And the final victim, known to law enforcement, JW, was from Las Vegas in November of 2022. Now, you might be asking yourself, how is Aurora Phelps accused of victimizing people in 2 countries? Well, the FBI says Phelps is a dual citizen of both Mexico and the United States. She's lived in Arkansas, Mexico, and Central Nevada. And there is a shocking claim about Phelps that the FBI special agent in charge in Las Vegas makes about what she did.
The victims, I want to be clear, they were unwitting. They contacted, Aurora Phelps on an online dating site. Some of them were lonely, looking for companionship. Most of them were, elderly single men. She befriended them. In many cases, she went on multiple dates with them, brought them into her confidence, and then surreptitiously administered heavy doses of sedatives, kept them drugged, and then was able to access their financial information, their bank accounts. In the case of one victim, literally push him across the border in a wheelchair in an inebriated state, take him to a hotel room, again, against his will, because these people were not conscious, able to make their own decisions at that point.
Yes, Aurora Phelps is accused of drugging a man and wheeling him across the border in a wheelchair. It's unbelievable. And the victims were elderly, according to the feds.
We believe Phelps connected with each of them through an online dating application so she could lure them into her confidence under false pretenses and then drug them with dangerous doses of prescription sedatives or other controlled substances. Once she incapacitated her victims, Phelps stole their cars, accessed their bank and brokerage accounts to withdraw cash, used their credit cards to make a variety of purchases, including luxury retail goods and gold, and even attempted to access their Social Security and retirement accounts.
The amount of money that Phelps is accused of trying to steal is no small amount.
In one instance, she is alleged to have liquidated millions of dollars of stock from one of her victims and attempted to transfer the proceeds to a bank account that she controlled. All of the victims listed in this indictment are U.S. citizens. 2 were residents of the state of Nevada when they encountered Phelps and were drugged by her. We believe Phelps kidnapped one of these victims by heavily sedating him and pushing him across the U.S.-Mexico border in a wheelchair due to his inebriated state. Phelps then took him to a hotel room in Mexico City, where the victim was found dead a few hours later.
The superseding indictment shows some of the transfers and purchases that Phelps is accused of making. In November of 2021, the superseding indictment says that Phelps placed a DoorDash order from one state to another, causing a wire transfer to occur with victim one. And she's accused of initiating a $64,000 wire transfer from victim one's bank account to her husband's bank account. If you're going to meet up with somebody that you met on a dating app, it's probably a good idea to check them out before you do. I decided to search Aurora Phelps on truthfinder.com to see what I could find. An address for Phelps showed up in Las Vegas, of course. And under criminal and traffic records, you're never going to believe what I found. A case from 2018 shows up for fraudulent use of a credit card out of Arkansas, along with a warrant for her arrest that was issued in November of 2022. Truthfinder is great because it will show you a person's phone numbers, past addresses, and criminal and traffic records. If you'd like to try Truthfinder out, I have a really great deal for you. You can get 50% off of confidential background reports. Log on to www.truthfinder.com/LCCrimeFix. Log on and start accessing information about almost anyone. Then there's victim two. In November of 2022, the indictment claims Phelps transferred $7,000 from Mexico to Nevada from victim two's Capital One account to Carter Power Sports to buy a motorcycle. Then a few days later, Phelps is accused of wiring $1,530 from a Wells Fargo account opened in victim two's name to one of her accounts. And the following month, in December, Phelps is accused of transferring more than $2,300 from a Wells Fargo account that belonged to the victim to Phelps's bank account. Now you get the picture. There were also purchases for luxury items that were mentioned. Those are listed in the superseding indictment. In 2022, there are 2 transactions at Dior involving victim 2, and one at APMEX, a gold and coin dealer. Aurora Phelps faces a number of charges: 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of mail fraud, 6 counts of bank fraud, 3 counts of identity theft, 1 count of kidnapping, 1 count of kidnapping resulting in death, and that could put her in prison for life. Phelps is accused of using aliases. They are Aurora Alvarez, Aurora Flores, Aurora Velasco, Bori, Bora, Boria, Sissy, Laura, and even Susan. And she used several dating apps according to the feds: Tinder, Match, Our Time, Plenty of Fish, Bumble, OkCupid, and Hinge. And the really sad part, the feds believe there are probably more victims out there that haven't contacted them yet.
Yes, this is technically a romance scam, but this is a romance scam on steroids. We have not seen one like this in recent history that's, as nefarious, as, as sinister, and certainly has the, as much of a tragic result as some of the others that we see. It's folks that are out looking for love, that ran into something far more sinister and that never intended to get involved with somebody in this way.
I want to bring in Gene Rossi. He's a former federal prosecutor. So, Gene, I have to get your thoughts. When you read this indictment and heard about this case, what did you think?
Well, we had a case like this in Eastern District of Virginia. It's called kidnapping resulting in death. And count 21 involves victim 1. So evidently, allegedly, victim 2 was brought across the United States-Mexico line from Vegas, and the victim 2 allegedly has perished. So that's the major count. What's interesting, it's count 21. I would have seen this, if it were my case, count 1, because that's the biggest count. That's death penalty eligible. But regarding the other allegations